ORICO. ORICO reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to review a dock. I said yes. I use ORICO products anyways. I use an ORICO NVMe enclosure, 10 gigabit per second. I have an ORICO hard drive dock that I leave in here. I pull it out when I need it. It's great. And I recently picked up an ORICO NVMe, which they just launched. And so when they asked me if I wanted to review this, I said yes, because overall, I like ORICO. They make good stuff, and their prices are lower than other brands. So that seems like a winning combination. This one here is a dock. It's going to be a USB4 hub. I have a USB4 laptop somewhere around this room that I'm going to test it with. That's very nice. So USB4, if you don't know, it's like Thunderbolt 4. It's going to allow higher amounts of data transfer, 40 gigabit per second, 40 gigabit per second. It's going to be faster, which just allows other ports to be faster, essentially. So it also has 85 watt power delivery, which will be great for the laptop that I'm testing. So this is going to be a straightforward run. I'm going to open, this thing's heavy, by the way. I'm going to open up this product here. I'm going to test it out, and I'm going to see how fast it goes. I have this in here because I'm going to also test, the ports and see how fast they go, and we'll test it out with an ORICO stuff. Why not use the same brand if I'm using it anyways? So let's grab myself the laptop because I don't know where it is in this room, and then we'll start the review. Cute little thing. We'll put that off to the side. And we got lots of accessories. Holy freaking power brick. I mean, it does supply a lot of power, so that's good. All right, what's the wattage on this thing? Is this thing like higher than the actual device? It's a 150 watt power brick. So this thing does the power delivery amount, but I guess you could power a small, like a gaming laptop with it if need be. Power, it'll have to be rated for power as well. It's not just going to be a generic power cable. It's also going to be rated for data. So it's going to be power/data. Very nice, a little robust. Metal on there, and obviously the tips. So that's good. And the cable is nice and robust. This is a little guy here, all metal, metal top, metal ring around it, metal bottom, USB 4 hub model, USB 4. Very good. So it's a fairly simplistic design, which is nice and clean. Probably appeals to like Mac users and people who use framework laptops. In the front here, we have a 10 gigabit per second USB, which I'll test with the ORICO. We have into the PC, that's the port there. That's probably a light. And on the back, we have DC power in there. We have all of these here you can see are going to be, it says 10 gigabit per second, and then 10 gigabit per second, and then 10 gigabit per second. They also have video and power. So now you'd say, why aren't these 4 gigabit per second? Well, it's a little bit different. This one here, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to plug this into your PC. This can then send 40 gigabit per second signal, right? So you're going to be able to get signal 40 gigabit per second, because then these are all going to be 10, 10, 10, and 10. If you add 10, 10, 10, 10, it makes 40. So in theory, these should be able to be driven at their own full speed one at a time. So I should be able to, like do an NVMe at the same time, no problems whatsoever. I could do a screen or something off of one of them with no problems whatsoever. So that's kind of the point here. The fact that you can do multiple video outputs, multiple USBs, however you're going to use it at one time. And because you have that USB 4 port there, rather than a USB 10 gigabit port, you can do all of them at the same full speed. Okay, so I'm going to start with this ORICO NVMe. I'll have a review on this probably after this, because I want to put out this dock review first. Fault. Okay, so let's close that up there. Very good. This is a nice little enclosure, by the way. I really like it. I've been using it for years, 2 years or 3 years. I use it with my phone, actually. Okay, so we have a messy setup here. Let's start plugging things into the laptop, and we'll see how it goes. Boom. Immediately getting power, so I mean, it's now powering my laptop. And because this ORICO device here has power delivery in these messy wires, it's going to power my laptop and the monitor. Okay, so that's going to probably, there you go. So that's doing its thing. So now we have 2 displays plugged in the front. You could do a third one if you wanted, because there's 3. It does 1, 2, 3. I could do all 3 of them. This is a 4K display, by the way. So I'm just going to show you, we're going to get the proper bandwidth here. So we're going to come in here. Okay, so that's working, and that should be at 4K, which it is, 4K. It's a 4K 60 screen, so it'll run at 4K 60. Very good. We have which one's this? This is probably the laptop. Yeah, this is the laptop, which runs at 1500p, which is fine. And then we have the Centroid one, which is a 1080p, so 60 hertz and 1080p. Good. So it's totally fine. I don't have any more USB-C screens, so we're not going to test that. Unfortunately, I don't own 3 random USB-C screens. But we can test bandwidth by doing this. So in theory, because this is a USB 4 port going into the laptop, this thing should run still at full speed, despite the fact that we're doing 1 screen, 2 screen, and NVMe at the same time. So let's test that. So that's basically going to be full speed. So you're going to be getting full speed out of this NVMe here, this 10 gigabit per second port over here. Now, I could, in theory, test another ORICO, but I don't have a SATA SSD. I put it in a system, and it is now unobtainable. So rather than using the SATA SSD that I don't have in this other ORICO enclosure, I'm going to, which would only run at 500 megabytes a second because it's a SATA. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to run it on this here. So I'm just going to unsafely eject this, which you shouldn't do. Don't do that. I'm going to plug this in here. And the reason is this, this came with the ORICO. This is an ORICO cable. It's 10 gigabit per second. So in theory, it should be close to maxing out this port here. I don't need to do more on this video. I don't want to talk too much. I just want to talk about the product now. This thing does exactly what it's supposed to do, and it works perfectly. You're going to be getting a lot of capable power going in. Technically, that's a 150 watt charger, so that's great. Then it's going to output power to your laptop, charge it, and this is USB 4, meaning you are able to drive 10 gigabit per second, 10 gigabit per second, 10 and 10 all at full speed, meaning that screen is going to run at full speed. That screen is going to run at full speed. If I had another one, it would run at full speed. This NVMe is going to run at full speed. This NVMe is going to run at full speed. If this wasn't a USB 4, some brands do that. They have this device here, and this is 10 gigabit going into your computer. Maybe all these are 10 gigabit. Once I loaded up screen, NVMe, maybe another screen, you would start to see slowdown. You wouldn't get speeds like that anymore because the bandwidth would then be limited. You'd be using up more than the 10 could supply to run all these other things. If a product does exactly what it's supposed to do, right, it fills a niche, then it's a perfect product. There's a niche that is being filled by this product, and it does it perfectly well. And the quality is nice. The build quality is nice. So, and it's not getting hot, by the way. It's completely cool. So, excellent product. If you're looking for something like this, which if you know who you are, then this is probably the one you want to pick up.